All right, Mr. Movies Podcast episode. Oh
We're up
no,
there. We're getting up there.
I
I don't
don't
know
know.
where we're at.
Oh, hold
Can
on.
we get a fact check on this?
Yeah, I'm fact checking. Quick, stall, say
Yeah.
something.
Today is it's March, but we're going to be talking about October. Um a spooky month, a month of Halloween and scares and razor blades in your candy bars.
Oh
Um
yeah, they're the tastiest. Okay, if you count our Boba Fett review as episode 35, then
which
we're
I
on
do.
36.
Episode 36.
Wow, 36 of these.
We're getting close to that 50th. Well, first we should explain, how many movies did you watch this week,
I
Duncan?
have watched 8 movies in this fine October.
Well, I watched 15.
God damn.
I'll
This is
talk
the
about
way
my
to
least
go.
favorite thing I watched this month.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
I watched season 3 of the smash hit TV show DC's Titans.
Ah,
So this is the first season that HBO paid for.
right.
So I was expecting a little bit of an upgrade, and for sure I think visual effects and visually we got it.
Mhm.
And they released those first 3 episodes all at once for us to enjoy, and that was smart because those first 3 episodes slapped. I would argue the first 5 episodes slapped. It set up a great story, and then after that I don't know what happened.
Oh no.
There was just a lot that they were trying to balance in this season, and I like the characters they have, but I feel like they have too many, and it's just at the point where it's like we can't keep not that we can't keep track, but it's like I'd rather just focus on a handful and have a good story
Sure.
with them, because I feel like
Yeah.
they're trying to give everybody a story and it's just not working. Raven is only in like 3 episodes, I think, this whole season. Like she's
That's not
barely in it,
good.
and she's one of the she's one of the main characters.
Yeah.
Beast Boy hasn't had like anything to do this whole series, which is just upsetting. And it's so upsetting because this show, you can tell like the way they set up these seasons are so good. Like
Mhm.
season 2 I thought was really good until like the end. Everything with Deathstroke was phenomenal in season 2, but then they shoved in this Cadmus storyline. It just didn't work at all. It's like I wish we had focused on Deathstroke because the actor played him was good and just the storyline was fantastic. Season 3 definitely suffers just from there's too much going on.
Sure.
I don't know. I feel like of everything HBO's done with DC, Titans is gonna be my least favorite.
Yeah, that's interesting because like you're taking this property where it's like the Teen Titans, there's these 5 great characters, and then like if they don't focus on them, it's like why? What are you doing?
Yeah, and I feel like it's fan service over storytelling, where it's like, and it's been like this in season 1, where like one of the characters that works now for me is Donna Troy. She's one of my favorite characters. But I remember watching season 1, they had an episode called Donna Troy. And like as a comic book fanboy, I'm excited because I love Donna Troy. It's Wonder Woman's like Wonder Woman Jr. basically.
She has a kid? Whoa.
No, but I was like, Donna Troy's exciting, and you watch it, and it is like a fun episode as like someone who like grew up loving that character. But it doesn't fit within the story of season 1. And now in season 2 and 3, they made her fit in, and I think she's one of my favorite parts of the show.
Okay, so maybe they just need like time to flesh out these things.
Well, no, because now it's at the point where I feel like you're doing that, you're throwing in all these characters, but now you're not giving them the time to be a part of the show. They're just kind of there.
I gotcha.
And evolution. The big thing with season 3 was they were doing Jason Todd Red Hood, which is like one of the best Batman characters of all time.
Yeah.
And for those first 5 episodes, it's insane. Like it's everything I wanted, and I was like so happy. I was like, they finally did it. And then the rest of the season, it just what they did with Jason, I was just like, it didn't work. It's like they tried to redeem him after he killed one of the main characters.
One of the main characters?
Yeah, and it's like you can't do that.
That's too heavy of a redemption arc to attempt. It's like, oops, like we got to learn to love this guy.
Yeah. So I wasn't too hot on Titan season 3.
Yeah,
but fair. There was a comic book property that came out this month that I saw in theaters that I was pretty hot on. That came out wrong. I enjoyed it. And that movie is ShangChi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Have you seen this movie?
Yeah, I have. I don't know which month this is in, but yes, I have seen it.
What did you think about it?
I thought so. I know nothing about Shang-Chi, like just completely nothing. And I don't know. This was the first like Marvel movie that came out, I think this year, or that can't be right, but like it was like the big thing. Like I think
it was
after
Black Widow came out and then this one came out.
That's right. So the first like new character, I guess.
Yes.
And I thought the first half of this movie was really good because it's very martial arts heavy. I think the choreography is like fantastic.
Yeah.
I think when he's fighting that the death dealer in that apartment building.
Yeah, and the knife
like
catch.
The knife catch, the scaffolding, the neon lights, it's fantastic. Yeah. And then it just becomes a CGI mess. And
I will say, as soon as they go into the forest thing, that's when the movie kind of loses me.
I wish they had like stayed in the forest in the sense that like the bamboo forest. Like I wish it was like, you know, at the beginning when like the Mandarin is in that like flashback with that pond and he's fighting that woman.
Yeah.
I wish that location had been like where the movie stayed. Because as soon as it got into like the wide open like mountain range, it just, I don't know why Marvel keeps like pushing so hard for the CGI heavy locations when it looks like
I think it's just because it's faster to come. So I would love to make a whole episode just talking about this because I just think it's fascinating. Mm-hmm. I think what Marvel does is basically, because everything is so interconnected, everything has to release at a certain time, so they don't have the luxury of being able to switch movies around.
Right. Yeah.
I think they rely heavily on post-production so that way they can rush through pre-production.
God, yeah.
And it's just, this is one of those movies that you feel that in the second half. Mm-hmm. I think the first 20 minutes of this movie is like my favorite opening to a Marvel movie. Oh my
God, that like fight is crazy.
I loved everything with like them just like parking cars together and like their parents being immigrants and like not being telling them like, oh, you kind of have to do this and like that kind of pressure, and like I kind of like grew up with that, so it's kind of like, I really appreciated that. Like I don't know, I really loved that whole message of like keeping tradition but like moving on and making it your own. I will say, because it is easy to go in and talk about the CG forest at the end, there are some sequences though in this movie that I was generally impressed by. The flashback scene where him and his dad go to the restaurant with the thugs that killed the mom.
Oh, that's right.
And then the camera turns to him when he's little and you see that guy fly and smash against the like mirror wall and shatter. Like I love that scene so much. I just thought like stuff like that is shot well, and I wish there was more of that.
Yeah, I agree.
I think this is definitely one of Marvel's more funnier movies. I really liked the addition of Awkwafina in it. I'm gonna shout out the movie The Farewell if no one has seen it.
That is a fantastic movie. Yeah.
I love that movie. But yeah, I was, I call me a sucker. I had a good time at Shang-Chi.
Oh my God, you Marvel shill.
I know. If you think I'm a shill, wait till we get to the December episode.
Oh boy, that's gonna be great, I'm sure. All right, well, I'm gonna launch into my first pick. This one's a little heavy because this is the last movie that my grandpa made me watch for college.
Oh.
So this is it.
Wait. We have to. I feel like we should have a moment of silence.
No, yeah, we should. It's the end of an era.
So this is the end of my grandpa made me watch it segment.
Well, I mean, he could always come back with a vengeance, but this is it for a while. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Moment of silence.
Moment of silence.
Anyway, he made me watch Waiting for Guffman.
I've never heard of that before in my life.
I don't know why you would. It is a mockumentary about this guy who's trying to make a Broadway play, but he's in a small town, so all he has are like these low budget theater actors,
Mhm.
and they want to do good, but they're not really good, so he's like pushing them really hard to make it to Broadway. It's kind of funny for like the time period it came out in, but it's a lot of like long sullen silences, and it's kind of this commentary on like, oh, there's always these bright stars out there who never go noticed, and it's like, okay, all right. It's like a movie about artists by artists where you're just
Mhm.
kind of like, all right, we get it.
You
You've
get it.
gone
Yeah.
through a lot. And like, yeah, I don't know. It was fine,
It's
but
too
like,
emotional.
yeah. No, I was waiting for Guffman. I was waiting for it to be over. That's
Nice.
the
How
review.
does this rank among the movies your grandpa has made you watch? Is
Honestly,
it better
pretty
or
up
worse than
there.
the Bill Murray films?
Oh my God, definitely up there. The Bill Murray films are just, I like modern Bill Murray where he's like kind of like old and crotchety, but like back
Yeah.
then when he's just kind of like throwing in the towel and like
Young and
that's his thing.
crotchety.
Yeah, I just, yeah. Ugh. Take us away, Frank. What's next?
Alrighty. It's time to talk about HBO, baby.
Habo.
Because they got that same day release, baby.
Oh my
So
God.
I watched The Many Saints of Newark, which is like the Sopranos prequel.
That's right. Yeah.
Fun little fact about me, I've never seen an episode of The Sopranos.
Well, me neither. That's
But my
so you
dad,
watched the prequel before the show.
yes. My dad's watched all of The Sopranos, so he wanted to watch it, and I said, you know what, it's time to bond, father. So we watched
It's time to bond, father.
The Many Saints of Newark, and I actually really I enjoyed this movie. I don't think it's anything great,
Mhm.
but I was kind of fascinated by the like. Here's what I'll say. Story wise, I don't think it's anything special. I don't really think it does anything special. I
Mhm.
was really interested in the characters though, and I would definitely be interested in watching The Sopranos now that I've seen this. I think it's cool that the man who played Tony Soprano, whose name is escaping me,
Tony.
Gandolfini.
Oh, yeah, James
I like
Gandolfini.
James Gandolfini. I think it's cool that his son plays like the younger version of him in this.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah, I'm like, that's really cool. Um,
Nice
and he
little
does a great
Easter
job.
egg for all of you nerds out there.
For all you Sopranos nerds,
All five of you.
I actually really do want to watch The Sopranos now, though.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think this movie is basically serves as kind of for people like me. I think I got more of it than my dad did, and he's a Sopranos fan because I was kind of like, I think it opens the door for this generation to get into the Sopranos and go back and watch a show that was like huge back in the day, but now it's kind of fizzled out. So
Yeah.
Sopranos is definitely on my list of things to check out in the future. But Duncan,
Yeah.
that's not all HBO had to offer
Oh.
this beautiful month of October, because we also got a taste of sand in our mouth with
What? Excuse me?
with the hit movie Dune. Did you watch Dune, Duncan?
I have not seen Dune.
What is your perception of Dune?
Well, I know it is like an 800-page sci-fi novel. I know it's about family politics and space and planets, and it's like, this is our planet, and then other people are like, this is our planet, and it's about this little Timothy Chalamet looking twink trying to like figure out his place in the war. I don't know. Just you
You
got it
nailed
with
it.
sand.
That's it. You nailed it. So I believe there's multiple Dune books. And this is an adaptation of the first Dune book, except
Okay.
it's only an adaptation of the first half of the first Dune book.
Oh. Well, I
So
mean, if it's 800 pages, then like
here's
I
the thing.
kind of get it.
Here's
Yeah.
what I gotta say. Here's what
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna
Let's
rip
hear
the
it.
band-aid off. I didn't love this movie. Okay. And this is
Oh my
controversial because this movie is like being critically loved. Everyone
Yeah,
loves it. Here's
I've
what I'll
heard that.
say. Here's what I'll say. I think in the future, I'll really like this movie. Because here's the thing, everybody who's loved this movie has ranted and raved about it, has been huge fans of the books. I don't know how to read. No, I've never read the Dune book though.
Right.
So I couldn't get into it. And it definitely is a whole lot of setup. And by the time we got to the end of the movie, I didn't feel like a story had been told. I feel like we just got the setup. So I think I heard somebody say this. They said it felt like the first 3 episodes of a potentially great TV show. And I full-heartedly agree with that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I definitely love the concept. I got to talk about the filmmaking because the direction, the visual effects, cinematography, everything is perfect. Like it's perfect.
Wow.
It's just the story.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work yet. If you've seen the commercials where they heavily marketed Zendaya, have you seen a commercial with Zendaya?
Yeah.
For Dune? You've seen all the footage of Zendaya in Dune.
They're like, hey, everyone, look, Zendaya's in the movie.
She's in the end. But that's what I'm saying, though. It kind of, I understand people who read the book, like, why they love this. Like, I think it's cool that someone said, I'm only going to do the first half of the book and make it, like, a long movie. If I was a fan of the book, I'd be like, yeah, because I know where it's going, so I can appreciate what's happening. I don't know where it's going. I can appreciate the filmmaking, but I can't appreciate the story yet. I think I will in the future, though. I'm excited to see a sequel. Also, Jason Momoa's character's name is Duncan, Idaho.
Duncan, Idaho?
I just thought I needed to share that.
That's cool as shit. I wish that was my name.
Duncan, Idaho!
Well, you know, shout out to all the Duncans out there. We gotta stay strong. Me and Jason Momoa. Well, all right. So here's the thing. I have 3 movies that I'm going to review all at once.
No, but then how many will you have left after that?
Not a lot, but you gotta understand, they're the same movie.
Did you watch like the Transformers franchise?
It's close. Okay, so Grace and I, my girlfriend, we have this tradition where after we're done with our like work week, we hang out, we get sloshed on Trader Joe's peach wine, and we put on the worst Netflix movie.
I want to get sloshed on peach wine from Trader Joe.
It's pretty good. It's cheap and very effective. We just watch terrible movies, like Netflix rom-com type movies. And so we watched To All the Boys I've Loved Before, To All the Boys P.S. I Still Love You,
oh god,
and To All the Boys Always and Forever.
There's a lot of boys.
A lot of boys.
I don't know what these are about.
Okay, the
Dumb
first
it down
movie,
for me.
So this is a young adult novel turned into a franchise. The first movie.
They can do that?
Oh yeah, they love that. So the concept of the movie is that there's this girl, and she's a bit of a loner, a bit of a nerd. The boys don't pay attention to her. And so what she does is she writes these love letters with no intention of sending them. But it's like she just has to get the emotions out. So like she writes these love letters and then she just like hides them in her room. And like that's it. It's like a creative exercise for her. And then one day her mischievous little sister is just like, fuck you, I hate you, I hope you die, I hate you. And she sends the letters. Actually, hold on. No, she doesn't do it out of spite. She does it to help her. So ignore everything I said. The sister's like, this is good for you, and sends all the letters. And so this girl's life is ruined because now all of a sudden there's these 5 boys who suddenly got love letters from her. And it's like, oh no. And like the wacky hijinks ensue. And then one of the boys is like, oh, all these guys think you love them. So why don't we pretend to date? So they think you're like taken. And then they actually start falling in love. And it's very predictable. And it's like they kiss in a hot tub. It's very just like, it's your cookie cutter rom-com from Netflix.
Okay.
But the acting is like pretty solid. It's what's her name? The actor. It's Noah Centineo.
Who is Noah Centineo?
Oh, you gotta look him up. He is like, they love him. They gotta have him in every single rom-com from Netflix. He's ridiculous. Lana Condor. Okay, that's the actress. She's great. Noah Centineo is flat as always, but you know, it's a very cookie cutter movie, you
Yeah.
know. And then I'll get into the next two after yours.
Oh, okay. So I'll do two now and then
Hmm. Then we'll
okay.
retouch on the To All the
But
Boys
I was
franchise.
gonna say we got to keep the audience
I
on
know,
it.
right?
I watched the Zack Snyder produced film Army of Thieves.
Oh my goodness. Oh, the zombie movie. What without zombies?
It was a heist movie,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I
It wasn't
gotta
the
say,
last one a heist movie.
yes,
Oh,
this movie was actually surprisingly very good. I didn't expect much from it,
uh-huh.
and
How could
I
you?
actually really liked it. There's a lot of sequences that stick in my head.
Hmm.
I thought it was kind of memorable, and I had a good time watching it.
I'll admit, like, it's on my list. I do want to watch it, but like, I don't know. The very existence of that movie like
So
gets on my nerves.
the guy, the guy who stars in it, Matithas, I don't know his last name.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal. Like to
Yeah.
me, he's very fun to watch. So it's just
Mhm.
like it's just a fun time. It's just a fun movie. I had a great time.
Yeah.
I love his like love for cracking safes open and like he's so passionate about it you can't help but just like root for him.
Aw.
And I just had a fun time watching this movie. That's all I have to say.
And it didn't bother you that like you knew he got like mauled in the next one?
No,
All right.
because he did it out of love and friendship.
All right.
I watched Squid Game.
Squid Game. Squid Game in real life. Oh my
Hey,
goodness.
Squid Game. I really liked Squid Game.
Really?
I'm like, there's a reason this show took off. The production design is gorgeous. I think visually this show is like
Mm-hmm.
stunning. I
Yeah.
love all the like they have like this very like little kid playful vibe to it, all the sets, but then people are like getting shot in the face and stuff.
Oh
It's a
yeah.
good time. And did you watch it?
Frank, I
Duncan.
have to admit something to you.
No!
I've made like 3 YouTube videos on
I
Squid Game.
and you
I haven't seen it.
wow.
And that could destroy my credibility. So no one say anything. But
There is
I
a
I didn't get
there's
around
a
to it.
phenomenal episode in here where I've never felt that much tension before in my life.
Well, okay,
And
here's the thing. I know everything that happens just because like it's this worldwide
you know
thing.
about the marble episode, the
Yes, I know
episode where
about
they
the
play
marbles.
marbles? So that episode, I was so tense, and
Hmm.
I mean it's crazy. It's just crazy, and then you see these alliances form and fall apart, and it
Yeah.
was just oh
It has a very smart way of like breaking you by like giving you characters to like and then immediately being like, all right, out of these 2 characters, you're like, one of them's dying.
well, I think what made this show so fresh every episode is that once you thought you understand the rules of what was happening, they'd pull the rug right out under you and switch it up.
Yes,
I
it
think
was
that's why that
really
Marvel
smart.
episode is so impactful
Yeah.
because like, oh, and there was stuff where like they'd start to riot and like where they were all like sleeping and stuff and
Hmm.
like stuff like that. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But I loved that like they were for the first episode, they were like tricked into it and then they get the option to come back because I feel like most shows wouldn't have done that. They would have been like, no, you're stuck here. I love that they had the option to come back.
Yeah, it really does drive home, I think, the point of the show, which is that, your life is worth risking to like get out of debt and like get money. It's like profits over safety. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Should I talk about another one?
Right after I talk about To All the Boys, P.S. I Still Love You.
Oh yeah.
Hoo boy. So this movie was also kind of lame. Um, the entire concept is that one of the boys that this girl sent the love letter to
One of the
was in
boys.
was in France, and so she
France.
was like, oh, no biggie, he's never gonna find out. But then he moves back home in order to be with her because he got the letter. And it's like,
Oh my
oh,
gosh.
and it's like it goes nowhere. It's very lame. And at the because she's dating the Noah Centineo guy, and Noah's like, "Are you going to leave me for this French guy for like 2 hours?" And then at the end, she's like, "No," and then that's the movie.
Is it better or worse than the first one?
Significantly worse.
So I have a question.
Yeah,
How far apart did Netflix release these movies? Like, was there a gap between them?
I believe it was like a year and a half to 2 years of a gap. It's
Woof.
just they just pump these out like they're just like money, 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 and like they're like
Didn't you
all
watch
these.
last month? You watched the Addison Rae. He's all
Oh,
that.
it is a consistent trend because Grace and I hang out every Friday, so we've watched a lot of bad Netflix movies.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Oh yeah,
So is that all you have to say?
yeah. Don't watch it. It's really bad.
Already, I really hope that third one really ties everything together.
Ha 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 ha.
I watched Halloween Kills.
Oh yeah,
So
with Mikey Myers.
we were roommates when that Halloween reboot came out, and I think I
remember
saw it
that.
like 3 times in theaters.
That was a fun movie to watch with you.
I loved the 28 Halloween like reboot revive. I
Oh
thought
yeah.
I thought it was just like a really fun way to bring back the franchise and just have fun with it.
I
So
remember
Halloween
really
Kills,
enjoying that movie. Yeah.
yeah. So Halloween Kills comes around, and here's what I'll say. A lot of
Say it.
people do not like this movie.
Oh wait, really?
And I do think it's a step down from the one that came out in 2018, a slight step down.
Hmm.
But this movie knows what it is. It knows you came to see people get violently, brutally murdered, and it delivers. And I had a fun time watching Halloween Kills. It's cheesy, it's over the top, and I loved it. It's basically a bunch of people running around town hunting, like they're actually trying to hunt down Michael Myers, and they're all screaming,
Oh, so they're
"Evil
hunting.
dies tonight!" And it's just it's so over the top.
Yeah.
Some of the kills are just hilarious. There's this one lady where she goes out of her car. Michael Myers is coming up to the car, and she opens up her door and she holds the gun out, and she's behind the door, and Michael Myers just kicks the door and it hits the gun in her hand. The gun turns around and it shoots her in the face. And it's just like, it's so over the top and fun. Like I thought that was
I don't
funny.
even get how the physics of that would work.
No, it's impossible. That's why and I'm like, that's clearly like they know what they're doing when they do stuff like that. And people are like, oh, this seems impractical. I'm like, just stop. There's a lot of fun sequences in here. The opening scene where like the firefighters are at the house, and they don't know Michael's inside, and they're trying
And
to
they're
put the fire out.
saving Michael. Yeah.
And it's like that scene's phenomenal. I really love the ending of this movie. Jamie Lee Curtis isn't in this one. She's barely in this one, I will say. And I kind of liked it because I feel like they really did a good job of setting her up for this last one. And I don't think it would have been whatever final showdown they have planned for the last one. I think it's going to be more impactful because they didn't have her and Michael interact in this film.
Right, because they filmed them both back to back, I heard. So it was probably pretty intentional that they diminished her role in this one so they could save her for the next one.
Yeah, and she's gonna be pissed in the next one because some things happened.
All right.
And she's gonna be pissed. And I'm excited. I just want to see Jamie Lee Curtis rage against this man and just like,
oh yeah.
And I want her to yell, "Evil dies today," and then she plugs them. That'd be amazing.
Really? Would it really?
But I damn love Halloween Kills, and I can't wait for Halloween Ends. Wow. I'm going to talk about another scary movie, probably on the way opposite side of Halloween.
All right.
This is probably the weirdest movie I saw all last year.
Really?
And I'm just gonna say I loved every second of it. I watched in theaters, and I think I was like one of the only people, and it was like me and two other people in this whole theater. I watched the A24 film Lamb.
Oh, oh,
This movie cracked me up. I think this is the funniest movie I've ever seen in my life.
really?
I like, as a dark comedy, this movie just, it works. I
I'm
don't know if that
dying to
was their
watch
intention.
it.
For me, it was a dark comedy.
It is at the
Oh,
top of my list, honestly.
dude. First of all, I will say the plot is very minute. Like,
Okay.
not much happens, but the charm of it is that damn little
The little
lamb.
lamb boy.
And it's so cute. And his name's Ada. And
Oh.
this movie knows what it's doing, because it makes you fall in love with that damn lamb. Like, I was like, if anything happens to that lamb, I'm gonna protest and riot. The
It's
last
Baby
10
Yoda
minutes,
syndrome, where they just
the
show you a
last
little
10
thing
minutes.
and you love it.
Well, I thought it was just like a lamb that was like a like could stand up on its hind legs and stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's like a lamb, and then it has like a human hand and like all that. It's wild. It's adorable. Like, you see this little thing running around like Matt, Matt, and I'm like, I want one. Like, it's so cute. The last 10 minutes of this movie, there's an image that will forever be ingrained in my head.
I think
I don't know.
know
I
the
think the
image.
director has even come out and said, yeah, I'm not 100% sure what it means.
Oh, that's the best.
But it's amazing. It's amazing. I love Lamb. I'm telling you, this is a Black Friday pickup for me. Black Friday, I'm picking this movie up on Blu-ray. Like, I had such a good time watching it. And I can't wait to see it again. It's bizarre. It's so bizarre. And
I don't know. I'm dying to see it.
A24, I tell you,
They know how to pick them.
they know how to pick them. Sometimes I'm let down, but sometimes you get a lamb, and I'm like,
Sometimes you get a lamb.
oh, lamb is phenomenal.
All right. Well, I guess we might as well wrap this trilogy up.
Close out the trilogy.
Let's talk about To All the Boys, Always and Forever. Now, because Grace and I have seen like 1 to 2 Netflix films every Friday, we've burned through a lot of their catalog.
Yeah.
And we've noticed a familiar trend, which is that there's only 3 stories that these movies know how to tell. And this movie is probably the most common story that they recycle. And that is the "where am I going to go to college" story.
Ah.
So you have this couple, this cute little high school couple, and they're like, I'm gonna love you.
They're in high school?
They're in high school the whole time, yeah. And it's like,
oh my God.
I'm gonna love you forever. And
is it like, one of those movies where it's like 30-year-olds playing high schoolers?
Yeah. No, absolutely. They're the best. They're so funny. And it's the classic, like, oh, this Peter guy gets into one school and Laura gets into another school, and it's like, oh, what are they gonna do? Is their relationship gonna be okay? And it's like, it's that for 2 hours, and it's like, what are we? Should we break up? Should we do long distance? And then at the end of the movie, it's like, we'll do long distance, and then it ends, and it's like,
so basically, this whole trilogy is them questioning their relationship, but it just works out at
yes, that's exactly it. And the whole movie is like, is it gonna work? And then in the last 5 minutes, it's like, yeah, I guess so.
When did this most recent one come out?
That's a good question. I don't think it's 2021, so pretty recent.
So is there a possibility there will be a 4th?
Well, with the story wrapped up, you kind of have to be like, is it worth picking up again? And the answer is yes, they're doing a spinoff about the little sister.
They are?
They are. It's confirmed. I'm going to shoot myself. All right, Frank, that's my review of To All the Boys, Never and For Never.
Wow. That was entertaining. I have to thank you, because I don't know how we're going to top that. I have some horror movies I'll talk about.
All right.
The first one is a Australian film I watched, from
Ooh.
Down Under, and it's a spooky movie,
Oh no.
and it is called The Loved Ones.
The Loved Ones. I don't know what those are.
Wow.
Kidding.
This movie is about this girl, and she's a little cuckoo in the
A little
head,
cooked up in the brain.
and she's got a crush, Duncan,
Aw.
and she asks him to prom,
Pram.
but he can't go to prom with her, Duncan, because he has a girlfriend.
That is a good reason.
It's a good reason not to go to prom.
Yeah.
She can't accept the rejection.
How?
Duncan.
And no one can really.
So what is she to do?
It's a good question.
It's easy. She and her dad are to kidnap this man, tie him in their house, and torture him.
Oh.
And they throw their own little prom. Like they play music, and this guy is like tied up to a chair, and like she forces food down his throat. She forces KFC down his throat and says, "Tell me it's finger licking good," and then forces him to like lick his fingers. Or to lick his fingers. But
what a brand deal.
Dude, this
wow.
is the weirdest movie. But it's a good movie. I will say there's some sequences in this that like definitely will stick in my head, just because I was like, oh my god. There's a scene where like he's screaming for help, so they take this syringe full of stuff and they stick it in his throat so he can't like talk, and he's like gasping and like, oh my god. And then you realize there is some like other stuff happening,
Other
and
stuff.
and that's when the movie completely changes its context, and you're like, oh, I didn't know it was going to be like this sort of genre. And if you like horror movies, I recommend this one. This is probably one of the bloodier ones I've seen.
Oh.
It's definitely like very like torture-y, but I enjoyed watching. There's definitely some images that'll stick in my head for a while.
You ever worry that you've like scarred yourself beyond repair with all these
Nah.
horror movies?
Yeah, I really like The Loved Ones. I think it's just like it's a good movie. It's well made, and I think the twist was a lot of fun. I thought it added a new kind of like layer to it. So Duncan, there was a global pandemic.
No, when? Sorry.
And,
yeah.
That prevented some movies from coming out.
Yeah. Huh.
And there was also a purchase. Disney purchased Fox.
Oh, that's right.
And that kind of went into effect right around the pandy.
The pandy, that's correct. The pandy dandy.
Oh. As soon as theaters closed and they
Yes.
reopened.
Yes.
And Disney said, oh crap, we have this Fox movie that we don't really care about. So I'll tell you what, we'll slap together a trailer, and a week after releasing the first trailer for it, we'll just throw it into like 5 theaters that are open in the US.
Oh wow.
And it'll do great. The movie will make millions of dollars, and everything will be okay. Yeah, that movie tanked.
I believe it. Yeah.
It's kind of gained a little bit of a cult following online.
Okay.
And I think I heard about it through Reddit, which is just embarrassing to say. But nonetheless, I watched a movie called The Empty Man.
The Empty Man.
And it is streaming on HBO.
Huh.
And I don't want to say much about this movie other than the fact that I think it's one of the more ballsiest movies I've seen to come out.
Really?
I think it was a mistake for Disney to let it flop.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely very thought-provoking. Like I definitely was thinking about this movie long after I watched it. And I'm kind of happy that like a small group of people have like discovered this movie and have kind of been talking about it. And I wanted to do my part. So for all of our Mr. Movies podcast fans out there, if you're looking for a good horror movie to
All of
dive
you
into,
horror heads out there
you
looking for a
horror
new
heads,
bit to
um,
binge.
The Empty Man on HBO is very good. And I will say the trailer they put together for this movie was very bad. So
Oh,
don't watch it because it's bad. It's like they kind of like condense the film down to make it sound like a very stereotypical horror movie, and it's not. Like the trailer is, it's not good. Don't watch it. Definitely go into this movie blind. Um, it's a fun time. I enjoyed The Empty Man, and yeah.
all
I only
right.
have how many more things do we have left?
I got 4 things.
Okay, take it away.
So there was a bit of a separate trend. So I'm watching rom-coms with Grace, but Ian and I, my little brother, my special little guy, we decided to watch a few Dwayne The Rock Johnson movies.
Did you watch The Tooth Fairy?
No.
Oh, okay.
We watched these solely because of Dwayne. So we did not go into this for the premise of the plot, but we watched Rampage, which is the movie about the big animals.
Yeah.
It's based on like an arcade video game where you just have to like shoot a big gorilla and a big crocodile. I don't know. But like
Sounds like my kind of fun.
the whole point is they're like, oh, we've invented this thing and we're gonna test it on animals. And so they do, and then the animals grow like super big and they're angry. And Dwayne The Rock Johnson's just like, I can reason with this monkey. He's my friend because he's like a zookeeper. So the whole movie is like, we have to save my big gorilla, but like the other ones can die. I just want my gorilla back. And so the army's just like, he's our best shot. He's a zookeeper. And so they have to like take him into this war zone. And it's like, oh, there's a big wolf. Oh, there's a big crocodile. And then they all go to Chicago and they just start destroying Chicago. And I will say, having lived in Chicago for 4 years, it was very fun getting to be like, oh, I've been there, and then seeing it just get demolished by
A
a
big
big
monkey, just like, yeah.
It's kind of funny to be
Does
like,
the monkey lift up the bean?
no, I don't think the bean gets touched. But
Damn.
I know,
You
right? What a
gotta have
missed
the monkey touch the
opportunity.
bean.
But there's like a bunch of tanks in like the streets that we used to walk down, and like there's a big wolf getting shot at, and it's just like, I've been to that restaurant, and then a wolf crashes through it. Okay, I am going to say one thing that it's a bit spoilery, so if you're like dying to watch this movie, whatever, I don't care. Like, but at the end of the movie, the villain is like this tech CEO woman, and she's like holding the antidote, and she's like, I'm gonna destroy the antidote. And then
they always want to destroy the antidote.
I know, they're so mean. But the big monkey picks her up and eats her.
Nice.
And it's so gratuitous that like it's like in a slow-mo shot of the monkey picking her up and then just like dropping her and eating her in one bite. But there's like 3 different shots from like different angles around it, and it's in slow-mo, and the whole time you're just kind of like, this is someone's fetish, isn't it? Because like it's so over the top and like slowed down from so many angles. And
there's
then
effort put into that scene.
Exactly. And then the rest of the movie is like the monkey got the antidote. So Dwayne The Rock Johnson's just like, there's my buddy, there's my monkey, he's back. And it's just like, that monkey has a woman in him. Like he just ate someone whole. Like we're just supposed to forget that.
Are there other big animals, and do they cure them?
I don't remember. There's a big wolf and a big crocodile, but I don't remember if they get cured. Oh no, the monkey kills them. Well, after the monkey is on their side, the monkey kills the things. Yeah.
So the monkey's a murderer and a people eater.
Yes, the monkey eats a woman, kills a giant animal, and then Dwayne The Rock Johnson's just like, we can go back to normal. And it's like, no,
watch
you
it
can't.
With the fam.
Actually, we did. We watched this with my mom in the room. Anyway, Rampage is like fine, but it's like a little strange, multiple points. I don't know.
That's good. How many do you have left?
3 left.
All right, I'll do 2 and then we can go back and forth. Duncan, have you heard of the director Mike Flanagan?
I have. I love Mikey Flan.
I watched one of his first movies. I watched the film Before I Wake.
Whoa, what'd you think?
I really enjoyed it. It's on Netflix. I definitely think it's one of his more weaker films, but you can definitely see like
take the L, Mike Flanagan.
No!
Frank hates you.
No! He's my hero.
I know.
No, I really like Mike Flanagan. I think Before I Wake is definitely one of his weaker films. It's still like a really good movie.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you just start now.
Well, because you can kind of see the beginning of his style, and like having seen his later work, you can kind of see like the little footprints there.
Oh, that's fun.
But Before I Wake, I think is just a phenomenal film. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. It's a little depressing.
Oh no.
But everything worth life is depressing. I also watched another Mike Flanagan movie. And this movie, it's a sequel prequel, and I hadn't seen the original because I heard it was trash.
Uh-huh.
I watched Luigi Origin of Evil, and I really, really liked this film.
Ooh, all right.
It's essentially about this family, and they pretend to do seances and communicate with the dead. Like they charge people for it.
Oh, and scammers.
Well, the way they justify is they're helping to help people heal.
Whatever they can say to.
But it's basically this one lady and her 2 daughters, and her daughters are in on like making stuff in the room like move.
Right.
Yeah. Until one day a real spirit takes over. Oh, no. Dun dun dun.
What a twist.
And this movie's a lot of fun if you like horror movies. I thought it was like really good actually. And I kind of want to watch it again. Like I just had a good time. It's well made. It takes place in the 60s and they filmed it to be kind of like a 60s movie.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
It's kind of like it's a throwback romp, and I had a good time with it.
That's awesome. I might check
that out. That's my thoughts on the Luigi. My last 3 movies I have slapped. So
ooh, you saved the best for last.
I did. I always do.
And so did I. Grace and I watched Tall Girl.
No! Too tall, too girl.
This girl is just too damn tall.
I heard there's like a short dude in there who's like into her.
Oh yes, that's the plot. So Tall Girl is kind of hailed as like the worst Netflix rom-com. And like I can see why. It's pretty rough. The concept is that there's this girl who's like 6'1".
What a freak.
And like, okay, that's not that tall. Like I'm like 6 flat. So this girl's like 1 inch taller than me. Like, I think this movie is more about the stigma that goes into height. Cause like,
and it succeeds in telling a story, right?
I guess like there is a story in the movie. Cause yeah, she has like this short friend who's like secretly in love with her. And of course, there's like a token minority best friend. That's another trend. All of these Netflix movies, there is a token minority like best friend who gets one line where they say something woke, and then that's it. It's such a disturbing trend. But this movie has that too. And so she's like, okay, so like everyone either hates her because she's tall and like makes fun of her and refuses to talk to her, or there's like the friend who's in love with her. And then there's a foreign exchange student from Sweden, and he's taller than her. And she's finally like, oh my God, someone taller than me. And so she falls in love with him. And then the guy, okay, the friend's name is Dunkelman. So that is something Grace calls me now. Dunkelman.
Yes! I was going to say Dunkelman would be a good nickname for you.
It's awful. But so Dunkelman's just like, oh, this Swedish guy, I hate him. He's stealing my thunder. And then his dad is like, guess who we adopted? And it's so the Swedish guy becomes like their like foreign exchange, like their live-in foster kid. So they're brothers now, which is weird. And so she spends the whole movie trying to like get this tall Swede to love her. And then at the end of the movie, he's like, I don't love her. And so she's all sad. And then this Dunkelman guy's just like, I'll love you. And then he steps on a crate to get taller than her and kisses her.
He steps on a crate.
And that's the movie. The whole movie is about how she's tall and a freak. And
is pretty amazing.
And then she learns to love her height, which is easy because she's only 6'1". It's just like, and it's like, girl, try out for basketball. Everyone's gonna love you. That's it. The end.
Does she get bullied because she's tall?
People in the hallways are like, hey, how's the weather up there, you giraffe bitch?
You giraffe.
No, they don't say that.
You giraffe necked bitch.
That's right. She's so oppressed. It's like, hey, you skyscraper whore, get down from there and get closer to God. It's just a terrible movie.
Did they purposely cast like really short people to surround her so she seems tall?
Yeah, and like there's camera angles and like there's tricks there. It's ridiculous. They're just like, look how gangly she is. And it's just like, she's just like a little tall.
That's so funny, dude. Well, I'm going to talk about a movie that's about sexual assault.
Oh, no.
I watched Gerald's Game.
Oh, I've actually heard of this.
I like this movie. Like, this is a rough transition going from Tall Girl to this.
I believe it.
But this movie is actually like really good.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe this movie got made. Because like the concept, it's basically a woman, she's stuck, she's tied to a bed for like the whole runtime of the movie, and you'd think that'd get stale, but they really like up like what mentally, like they really do a good job of showing her mentally breaking down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such,
well, yeah, I know that the premise is like this man and a woman, and they're like getting ready for some special time.
Yeah,
and so he like
up their love life.
He handcuffs her to the bed, and it's like, ooh, and then he dies.
Yeah.
And then she's like, shit, fuck. I am strapped to this bed, which is a really cool premise. That's like, like a really compromising position to put your lead character. So I was interested.
Yeah,
in the
and
premise.
I was like, Carla Gugino, who's the main actress in this, like, I don't think that movie would be what it is without her. Like she's phenomenal in this movie. Mm-hmm. And it's heartbreaking.
Oh.
And you really get a sense of like it's a horror movie, and I got teary-eyed during it. I was like, this is so like, I don't know, something about it just like, I don't know. There was just something so like, they made it feel so tangible, and like it does make you think like this is something that happens to a lot of people, sadly, and like how did they deal with their past? Like they suppress it, and it's sad. I don't know. I think this movie is really good. I definitely think it's worth checking out.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah,
I might look into it.
It's not a popcorn movie. It's not like let's pop some Mike and Ike's and have fun. Like it's
sure.
It's definitely like it's a good movie. I definitely recommend watching it. I feel like I'm being stupid right now and stumbling over my words, but
you're trying not to give it away. I appreciate that.
It's a movie where there's I can't really describe without giving it away. And I'd rather, if people want to watch this, I'd rather they go in blind, because you're going to have a much better viewing experience.
Yeah, this has been on my list for a while, so this is the push I needed. I'll check it out. Did you want to go again, or how many do you have left?
I have 2 left.
So do I. All right, so I'll go next. Continuing the Dwayne train that Ian and I were on, we watched Skyscraper.
Oh my gosh. Doesn't he have like a prosthetic leg in this one?
Yes, they love that.
I was gonna say I heard that they went too far with that.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
So you have not seen this movie?
I have not.
I won't spoil it then, because this is a
no, that's okay.
watch.
You can spoil it.
the premise is that there's this high-tech skyscraper where it's like some people live in it. There's like some labs, there's like a big eco-friendly garden, and then at the top there's a vault. And so it's about the company like hires Dwayne the Rock Johnson to be their like security like bodyguard. And so that means his family gets to like live there for free or something. And so then there's this heist where people are going after the vault on top, and his family's still in the skyscraper, so he has to like save them, save the company. It's just an action movie where it's just like, oh no, he's really high up and he's got a prosthetic leg, so we're allowed to call him a cripple. And it's like they're trying to score like points by being like, we took a big action movie hero and we took away his leg, can we get an award? And it's like they do kind of like go a little bit too far with it, where they like
Yeah.
the leg is like part of the plot, and it's like how he gets out of like
I've heard it's like offensive to like people who actually have to deal
yeah,
with
it's
it.
like Dwayne couldn't have done this if he hadn't have lost his leg. It turns out that it was a gift, and it's like, okay, let's
Yeah, that's look, I'm all for like being confident about that. I think you do
right.
have to be in that situation. I have a lot of respect for people who have to live like that, because that's a monumental challenge.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, I feel like movies like this try to glorify it to the point where it's like
Mhm.
I don't
There's a
know.
line between like making the best of it and then like calling it a superpower.
Yeah.
And this movie really wants you to like see it as a superpower.
Yes.
So overall, this movie made my little brother red in the face with laughter because it's just very ridiculous and dumb and stupid. And
Do
so
they
if
play the song Skyscraper by Demi Lovato?
that's a good question. I didn't watch all the credits, so maybe, but
A missed opportunity if they did it.
yeah, if you ever find yourself like drunk and like wanting to waste 2 hours of your life, check out
Yeah.
Skyscraper.
That seems like a good movie to put on after like an argument with a wife.
That's a very niche situation, but yeah.
I watched, so I have two left,
Yeah.
and I always like to save my favorite one for last. And
Mhm.
these two for me are very much like
Ooh,
equals.
yeah.
Like I don't know which one to put up. I'm gonna talk about Doctor Sleep right now, though. This ends the Mike Flanagan series of the podcast. So I
We'll miss
know
you, Mike.
we love you, Mike. Come on episode
Yeah.
50.
Shout out to Mike.
Mike. I was expecting you to distract them while I just took that big gulp of water. And
Oh.
now we're just gonna have awkward like 10 seconds of silence.
I'll edit it out. Maybe.
So I watched Doctor Sleep.
Yeah.
And so for people who don't know, Doctor Sleep is a sequel to The Shining. And it follows Danny Torrance, who was the young boy, but he's now a man and he looks like Ewan McGregor. And I think this movie's phenomenal. Like I genuinely was blown away by this movie.
Can I ask what it's about? Because like I've seen The Shining and it kind of ends. So I wasn't really sure how that would continue.
So this movie's marketing, I want to talk about that first.
Yeah.
Kind of made it seem like it was going to be a phoned in fan service. Oh, let's go back to the Overlook Hotel sort of thing. Like it. And I think that was a mistake because that is not the movie at all.
Okay.
And I think this movie could have easily been sort of like one of those reboot sequels where it's kind of like, whoa, let's just reenact the entirety of The Shining, but now it's with Danny.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't do that, which I'm happy about. I think of all the movies to ever do, like hop on this trend, Doctor Sleep handles the fan service aspect of this the most, because there isn't a piece of quote unquote fan service that isn't character driven.
Ooh.
It's Danny's story, and you kind of see him in the beginning and he's struggling with alcohol and he's kind of going down the same path that his father did.
Oh, so interesting. Yeah.
You see him go through AA, and there's this great scene where it's just like one take and it's on Danny, and he's getting like a chip for being clean, and he's giving a speech where he's talking about his dad, and it's I get chills just thinking about it. But then you see him use this power of the Shining that he has to help others and like be an upstanding citizen. But there's a group of people going around trying to like murder people who have the Shining powers.
Ooh.
And he's able to communicate with this other girl who has the Shining power, and he realizes that they're going after her next to murder her. So he tries to stop it, and that kind of is where it leads to some of the fan service, quote unquote fan servicey stuff. But this movie through and through is Danny Torrance's movie. It's focused on him. And I recommend watching the director's cut because it's more character focused.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I really, really love this movie. I can't wait to watch it again. I don't want to give too much away. I feel like I've already said enough.
Yeah.
If you're iffy on it because you love The Shining, watch it. Like, you will not be disappointed. I think it's a perfect sequel.
That's really cool to hear.
Like, especially you're making one to a film that is so beloved and is like considered a masterpiece. There's no better way they could have gone about making this film.
Yeah, I remember I liked The Shining. I probably don't love it as much as like the other film school kids do, where they have like posters of it. I didn't lose my goo over Stanley Kubrick, so, but I am interested in like seeing a continuation of that story, especially if it's as well done as you're describing it.
I think, oh god, that's gonna get me murdered.
Let's hear it.
I think Doctor Sleep is more rewatchable than The Shining. Like
they're gonna take away your diploma for that one.
Like I really love Doctor Sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing, okay, I love The Shining. Like, I love The Shining.
Pretty good movie.
My biggest issue with that movie is Jack Torrance is ready to slaughter his family before he ever steps foot in the Overlook.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, he's kind of.
I'm not trying to like. Who am I to question Jack Nicholson and Stanley Kubrick? But that's just the vibe I get when I watch that movie, and it takes it down a peg for me.
That's fair.
But I love the character progression of this film. I think everything about it works.
You sold me again.
I believe it's streaming on HBO, so check it out.
All right, time to renew my HBO subscription that my parents pay for. All right, so the last movie I watched is The Perfect Date.
Is this another Netflix movie?
Sure is.
Is this all you watch now?
It's gonna be a majority of them, yeah.
Oh gosh.
But hey, you can't appreciate good movies if you don't watch a bad movie now and then. Anyway, this movie is another Noah Centineo flick.
It's got to be.
It has to. And the concept, this is where it's gonna get you. The concept.
I have a question real quick before
you go ahead.
Does this Noah kid have a contract with Netflix? Is he just like forced to do
like
this?
100%.
Or they'll murder his family?
They were just like, hey, we're going to give you $5 million if you sign on to 100 films. And he's like, $5 million? And so now he's just stuck with them. So this movie, the concept is that this guy makes a dating app where it's just him. And it's like, he'll like go on dates for people for money because he's trying to like get into college.
Is he like a gigolo?
Well, see, there are 10 jokes in the movie where they're like, you're a gigolo, and he's like, gigolos have sex. So they like,
a gigolo? That's a fair question.
It is, but like the movie knows you were going to ask that question, so there's a lot of jokes like trying to lower that.
Do they play the Louis Prima song "I'm Just a Gigolo"?
I don't remember, but God, I wish they did.
Oh my gosh. Netflix hired me to make your soundtrack choices. Clearly I'm killing it.
You'll never guess what the twist of this movie is. He goes on a fake date with someone and then catches feelings.
No!
It's the same plot. I swear to God. These movies reuse the same plot beats because they think their audience is too slow to catch them.
Do you think this guy is being wasted by Netflix?
I have seen him in more traditional serious roles. And no, he's just kind of bad.
Okay.
I don't feel bad saying that because Noah Centineo is richer than I'll ever be ever, and like the man's set for life.
Mhm.
But he kind of knows when to phone it in, and this is one of those movies. He's just like, I gotta get into college, so I'm gonna date this girl for money. Oh no, I like her. Do I risk college for this girl?
What a relatable story. I mean, I've been there.
I know, right? When I was leaving for college, I was just like, but what about the girls?
Can I change the subject for 2 seconds?
Yeah, change it forever. I'm done.
Do you know what a stress ball is?
I do know what a stress ball is. Yeah,
You know, like just squeeze it when you're angry.
I remember that. Yeah.
I have a minions.
Why do you have a minion
we have
stress
a-
ball?
You put him on the kit. We're gonna show the video of him real quick. Look at him.
Yeah,
You just
there he
yep,
is.
that's it. So
Now, Frank, I don't want to offend you, but I've seen you get very rageful in the past, so I can only imagine you squeezed the absolute shit out of that minion.
this minion's seen some shit, Duncan.
One day you're gonna show him to me, and he's gonna be ripped into 4 even
gonna
quadrants. Anyway, what's your last movie?
My last film is a masterpiece. I watched this film called Lake Mungo. If you take away anything from this episode, you have to watch Lake Mungo.
Okay, I'll watch Lake Mungo.
This movie is I think this is the most immersive film
Really?
I've ever seen. And I think that's how they get away with not doing a jump scare or having a drop of blood. And it is
It's interesting. I
It's
don't think I've
the
ever
most-
heard of a horror movie that did that.
disturbing film I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
And it's not gory. It's not anything like that. But I just felt this. I felt like I needed to take a shower afterwards. I felt disgusting.
Oh my God.
And this film is shot like a documentary.
Okay.
And it works so well. And it's about the disappearance of this girl, and you get interviews with her family. After she went to camp at Lake Mungo, she disappeared. And oh my God, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. It's so, Duncan, oh my God.
Well, I mean, what can you tell me about it? Like,
I can't say anything without giving anything away, but it's this documentary, and it's a lot of footage of people like setting up cameras around their house. And then, you ever seen Signs?
no,
I'm not sure. You've never seen Signs?
never
Jeez.
seen Signs.
For the rest of this our crowd who's cultured, unlike you, Duncan, who's seen Signs. That scene in Signs where it's the little kid's birthday party, and then you see the alien walk by the alley. I think that's one of the creepiest films in cinema, or creepiest scenes in cinema. And this whole movie is that. Like, I believe the filmmaker watched that scene and said, I'm gonna make that this whole movie.
Oh no.
And you feel like you're in this family's life. You feel the tragedy of losing their daughter, and you feel the horror of what follows. And this movie takes you on like rides and loops, and it's just like, it's insane. It is insane. I think this is one of the most insane movies I've ever seen. The director, it's on Amazon Prime, but it has like I think it was released on DVD as part of like a film festival. So it's on like this crappy DVD. That's like the only release of it. The director's only made one movie, and he doesn't like want to talk about the movie, and like he's dropped off the face of the earth.
Ooh.
Like, it is, dude, it's insane. And this is one of the best movies I've ever seen like in my life. I think Lake Mungo is just a masterpiece of filmmaking, of immersing your audience in a story and investing them. And the setups and payoffs, the payoff in this film, the end of this movie, it is like, it leaves you chill to your core. Just watch it, dude.
Tune in to the March 2022 episode of this show if you want to hear me talk about.
We're gonna call that episode Mungo Madness, baby. Mungo Madness.
March Mungo Madness.
March Mungo Madness.
Oh my God.
Get ready for a wild ride.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm excited to check out this movie that you love so much.
A masterpiece. And that's all I have to say about October.
That's October then. Wow.
That's October. Should we give them a little tease of what to expect in November?
Yeah, sure. What do you got? I got more Netflix rom-coms. So what do you got?
Ooh, I got some more spooky. I got some action, some music,
Yeah.
some fun, some Oscar winners,
Yeah.
and I got a movie that I'm looking at the title and I can't remember what the hell it is.
There might be a few of those. Yeah.
Um, I've got a Marvel movie.
Woo!
And,
Marvel. I marvel at how great those movies are.
November is going to be a fun episode.
Yeah. Well, let's record it soon and get them out to these lovely peoples.
They deserve it.
They do. They're special.
Thank you for joining us on this immaculate episode of the Mr. Movies podcast. Please slap that like button, give a little tickle to the subscribe button, and hey, if you're feeling risque, click the bell notification.
Oh my God.
You will be notified about
if you want to be a real sick freak, leave a comment.
Yeah, do it, you dirty dogs.
All right. All right. We'll see you dirty dogs in the next one.
Fun fact, the dollar stores in the UK are called Pound Town. Have a good day.
Really? That can't be right.
I don't know if that's true. I saw it on Facebook, so who knows?
Classic misinformation.
Everything's a lie. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye.